The Southern Railway's preoccupation with electrification eliminated many areas of steam passenger working before BR was even created. By 1967, Waterloo was the only London terminus to feature steam traction. This standard Class 3 was one of 2 locomotives regularly employed on ECS duties in and out of the capital. A Mickey Mouse tank departs on a similar duty. Steam's prolonged survival on the southwestern division was a direct result of pending electrification of the main line to Bournemouth. 7 motive power depots retained steam into 1967. Work started at Woking, where the 1935 Portsmouth line electrification had left off. Preparations for the modernization resulted in numerous delays, bus substitutions, and single-line working. This sequence illustrates the end of the temporary single line from New Milton at Christchurch. The lofty signal box has not needed a token exchange since the closure of the Ringwood line in 1935. The signalman resorts to an ingenious method of token collection. "34021 Dartmoor becomes the recipient of the token in the reverse direction. As electrification moved westwards, the section already complete became a racetrack. Many drivers had one last go at doing the ton. 603 Squadron arrives at Basingstoke with a train from Bournemouth. Bulleid Pacifics gained a reputation for a lack of adhesion whilst trying to pull away. Lapford demonstrates. A standard Class 5 passes on an up service. BR standard Moguls were used on less glamorous work. This Class 4 was one of a number based at Guildford for ballast duties. 70C also employed standard Class 3 77014 on these trains. This locomotive was the sole representative of its class on the Southern. It arrived on a rail tour in 1966. Never to return home. The standard became a popular rail tour engine. This is the LCGB 100 tour. Earlier in the day, a standard tank worked the train into Shepperton from Wimbledon Park. Appropriately, the 100th Bulleid Light Pacific was waiting to work the train to Twickenham and later Windsor and Staines. Two Bullitt Pacifics hauled the Bridport Belle, Lapford and Biggin Hill. The southern region also hosted 3 preserved LNER locomotives on rail tour duty during 1967. The Great Marquis was prepared at 9 Elms for the Marquis goes south-southwest. The other 2 LNER engines were Sir Nigel Gresley and Flying Scotsman. 9 Elms and Feltham were the only 2 BR steam sheds still active in London. 3442 heads for Brighton. The Hants and Dorset branch flyer was one of the last steam-hauled trains on the Lymington Pier branch. 80151 featured. Steam still operated the branch daily. The last steam branch succumbed to modernization on April the 2nd, 1967. DEMUs were temporarily introduced on the branch. January had seen the end of steam on the Bournemouth Belle, at least officially. Brush type 4s were diagrammed. However, steam occasionally substituted. Photographer John Marsh was fortunate to record steam on the Belle and on the branch together. The Bournemouth Belle was axed with the introduction of the July timetable. On July the 2nd, Whimple heads for Bournemouth. On the same day, BR Southern Region ran 2 rail tours. Farewell to Steam number 1 visited Weymouth. Number 2 ran only as far as Bournemouth. Clan Line passes on the 2nd train. The Southern Steam Fleet was perhaps the most modern of all the regions. Recently rebuilt Bullitt Pacifics and a vast collection of standards predominated. Clan Line moves on to shed at Bournemouth Central. Fortunately, this engine was saved for preservation. Number 1 tour featured 2 Merchant Navy Pacifics, Aberdeen Commonwealth and Orient Line, double-headed between Weymouth and Bournemouth. The pilot engine was removed. Orient Line continued unassisted. This locomotive and Clan Line were reunited with their nameplates for the occasion. Seven days later, steam actually finished on the southern region. 35030 arrives on the last steam-hauled up passenger service. The Bullade replaced a failed diesel at Weymouth. However, the use of Elder Dempster lines was not the last steam duty. Later in the day, Celebrity 77014, destined for the dump at Weymouth, worked an evening parcels train to Weymouth and joined the scrap road. Never to steam again. Transition from steam Callington heads for Buttigieg scrapyard at Newport, the end of the line.